What up, y'all? Today's episode of the RV Voice is brought to you by RV Fix. And let me tell you, if you've ever found yourself stranded with an RV issue miles from the nearest service center, you know how frustrating that can be. Well, that's where RV Fix comes in. Imagine having a master RV tech right in your pocket. Yeah, you heard that right. With RV Fix, all it takes is a quick phone call and boom, you're connected via video call with an expert who can guide you through fixing your issue, saving you both time and money. Then here's the kicker. Try RV Fix risk-free with a 14-day free trial. You'll need to enter your card number just like most subscriptions, but don't worry, you won't be charged until after the trial ends. If you decide to continue, please use the code RVVoice at checkout. This really helps support the RV Voice and keeps us going strong, and we really appreciate it. Seriously, guys, this is a game changer. Stay on the road and keep your RV in tip-top shape with RV Fix. Learn more at rvfix.com. Welcome to another episode of the RV Voice. We have the Grimms on today. I want to do like a lighting thing. Hope I can do that. But anyway, they're traveling. They've been traveling for 3.5 years into Keystone, Montana with 2 kids. They had a couple pets at one point in time, but they have no pets right now. They are petless. And they are doing a whole little different thing. They're trying to build their Instagram, and we're going to help them do that today. So we're going to hear their whole story, personal journey into the RV life, and how they do it and how they keep going. So welcome, Ben and Erica from the Grimm side of travel. I hope we can have like the Grimm. I want to like just dart like.
That's what I like.
Yeah, you remember like you guys? How old are you guys, if you don't mind me asking?
34, 35.
35, yeah, 35, 34.
You're in my era. I'm going to be 32 here shortly. Remember Courage the Cowardly Dog?
Yes.
Did you watch that?
Yeah.
It's like the little purple cartoon dog, and then like everything was just like dark and grim around him at all times. There was always some. Either way, and it just got brought up in conversation the other day, and just reminded me the Grimm was one of like the episodes or something like that. So
yeah, that's right.
Anyway, guys, you guys are. Where'd you say you guys were at right now?
We're just
Florida,
north of Daytona. Yeah, it's not Florida weather right now. It's terrible down here. It's raining. It's cold.
Yeah.
It's not what I came down here for.
Yeah, you guys go to the beach at all?
Did yesterday. Yeah.
It was
the white sand is like real fine, and it's like hundreds of yards of beach before you touch the water.
Oh yeah. But for sure, the beach we went to yesterday wasn't like that, but I do know down in Daytona it's like that for sure.
Yeah. It's massive. It's like you're just like water's way out there.
Yeah, it's like forever away. Everybody gets their truck stuck because they think they can get down there farther. It's fun.
No, and then the tide comes rolling back in.
Yeah. Yeah, we're here, and then Sunday we head over to the Gulf Coast, so Destin, Gulf Shores area.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
For a few weeks. Yeah.
All right.
So we head there Sunday.
All right. You guys kind of go by weeks or like months?
We try.
It's weeks now. Every 2 to 3 weeks, we try to move from place to place. And here in Florida, it's a little easier because everything's kind of close. So it's like a couple hours here, a couple hours there. We're in a new place. So we finally get some longer travel days coming Sunday, 4 or 5 hours. So yeah, that's been our first winter in Florida, away from the cold.
Yes.
Where'd you guys usually winter? The last couple of years, I guess.
Back home in Kentucky.
Yeah, usually she's working through the winter with her contract hospital jobs. So we would just stick to back home or somewhere around Kentucky for her to do a contract. We just work through the winter because it's like, well, what else are we gonna do? So yeah, we've just been staying home and braving the freezing cold temperatures and watching everything freeze on the camper every winter.
Yeah. Did you guys have skirting and all that and make it work?
I did the first winter. No. This last winter when we were back home, yes, I tried. But it got so cold it didn't matter. I didn't have like any kind of professional. It was just like the 1/2-inch foam kind of boards from Lowe's. And then it gets so windy in Western Kentucky. It's kind of like the rest of the Midwest. It just starts getting. So then it just blew it all away. I put it all up. And then the wind chill comes in. It's blowing 30 or 40 miles an hour. And then all of it's just blown away. And it's like, well, that was a waste of money.
Jeez, I'm Pete's. Yeah, it's I had a buddy. So I sold a camper, one of my first, actually it might have been my first sale, if not for top 3 sales. He bought a Sanibel from my mic turned off randomly there. So hopefully you hear me now.
Yeah, you're good.
I don't know what was going on. But anyway, I had a buddy buy a Sanibel off of me, and he did it in Nebraska for like 2 years. In Nebraska weather, I mean, literally today, my parents woke up, it was negative 23.
Mm-hmm.
They sent it to me.
Yeah.
You know?
That's when you gotta have. That's the hay bale stacking around it. That's what people do.
Yeah, they'll do like hay bales underneath and around the edges, right? And then on the outside of the, like, basically just to be completely, I guess, flush with the outside. Then they do like OSB, right? And do that. And then this guy, he did more than that. So he did the hay bales underneath with heat lamps. And then I think he actually wrapped the pipes, but then he also did, he took pink foam board on the inside of those, on the inside of the OSB sheets. So he made it like legit. I mean, it was even on the slide boxes around it. Like he made it a home on wheels. I mean, he literally just parked it outside Fremont, Nebraska there for a minute. But I was like, yeah, good for you, pal. I couldn't do it. Not for me.
No, that's too cold. I mean, we can go for like a week, but anything more than that is like, okay, it's way too cold.
Yeah,
so that's how we've been really enjoying the Florida weather since Thanksgiving.
Seems to be the place to be. So, but without further ado, let's hop into your whole story, guys. I mean, you guys have been at this for 3.5 years now. I'm guessing, are you in the same RV that you bought? So the Keystone, Montana, the same one you bought the first time? Okay. So I guess what inspired you two to get into full-time RVing? I mean, what's the story behind it all and how it all got started?
Yeah. You want to take this one, too?
Either way. So we started traveling when COVID hit. I'm a respiratory therapist, so COVID was like my time to shine. And so I was like, let's go. People may know who I am now and not call me a nurse, but maybe not. But so I started doing travel healthcare, and they would stay in Paducah, and I would drive 4 hours to work, and I'd work 6 days and then come home for 8 and work 6 days and then come back. And we hated it. And so we're like, okay, no, if I'm going to travel, then they're going to travel with me. We weren't going to do this separated lifestyle.
Yeah. We still had a house then at this point.
Yeah.
You know, we were still living in a house. And she was like, I like doing this. I like the travel healthcare stuff because if I get tired of a hospital, I can just leave.
Yeah.
And then the money was so good. And we're just like, well, that's fine. But let's just go with you. Like, we're going to go with you. It's like, we're not going to just sit at home anymore.
Yeah. I had an apartment and we had the house.
Yeah.
And I didn't like I didn't like it. So we're like, we're done with this, which it was our first house and the market was hot. So we were like, all right, it's time to sell the house because we didn't have to do renovations or any of that. So it was nice.
Let's just sell this while we can.
Yeah, cash out on the appreciation for sure. That era. Oh my goodness, it blew up everything. I missed out on my chance to buy. Whoops. What do you do?
Yeah. So that was kind of our thing. It's like, oh, we'll do this for a little while, then we'll stop and build a house.
Yeah.
After a few contracts once they stop paying so much, and then we'll stop and build a house, and then it just never stops. And we're like, well, now we can't afford to build a house or buy a house.
Yeah.
We'll
it's expensive.
Have on wheels.
Yeah. There you go, for sure. So it was kind of a mutual decision, it sounds like, because of work.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. That was the initial thing. It was like, well, she's going to work. Me and the kids are just going to go with her because she was making enough to support us. So I stayed home with the kids. I was the stay-at-home dad for a while, doing all the schoolwork, the cooking and all that, and then she was working nights, so she was basically gone for 6 or 7 days. Even if she was home, she was asleep. So
just trying to catch up.
So I took care of all the home stuff, and she worked and took advantage of it while we could.
Absolutely. Did you work 6/12s then? Yeah.
So instead of doing like 3 on and then some off and then 3 on, I just crammed all my days together. So I would do 6/12s in a row, and then I would have 8 off. Or if I picked up overtime, I would do 8 together and then 6 off. So then on my days off, then we could do adventures or go explore the area.
Yeah, so it's kind of that's how we planned our travels in the beginning, was around that. So like she get those 8 days off. Okay, well, we got 8 days to go do whatever, in the area. So we could really explore the immediate area within a couple hour drive of where we were at the time. So she would sacrifice that 6-7 days straight. So we'd have those few days, a week or so, to go do whatever we wanted to.
Yeah.
Go explore, because, since the kids weren't in school, they were homeschooled and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So you were running on caffeine and dreams, huh?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
6-12s is brutal. I don't care who you are.
I did the night shift, and then when I was off work, I would flip back to a day life. So I didn't have to flip as often if I just did 6 in a row. So it was okay.
So you guys are now traveling full time.
Yes.
So you're traveling to new places and then staying around the area. Is that what you're doing instead of just that one location?
Yeah. So when I did the hospital work, we had to stay in a place for 13 weeks at least, and we could move from there. Now I'm trying to stay out of the hospital. I've been out since May of last year, so almost a year. So now we can move quicker. But if I go back, then we'll stay stationary for 13 weeks and then we'll move again.
Yeah.
So
we kind of just keep that in our back pocket just in case. Like, hey, we need money. So it's like, let's stop.
Yeah. Well, hey, they pay good.
They pay. We'll find somewhere cool to stop. It may not be back home. It may just be somewhere else, somewhere just fun to be at, and do that. So yeah, this last year we've really concentrated and really tried to work hard to keep her out, because we were being stationary, then only getting like actual travel for maybe 2 months, right? We'd have enough cash to make 2 months, 3 months at the most, without her having to go back. But now we're in a position making enough through other avenues to keep us on the road, and like I said, since May, getting to go a lot more places this year, which has been amazing and fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So interesting to hear like everybody's story. It's because everyone does it differently. I've talked to I couldn't even tell you how many full timers I've talked to now, but everyone's just like some people are solely social media. Some people, I just talked to the nuclear nomads. They work on nuclear plants, or at least Joey does. Joey does that. Yeah, and that's what he does. And so they go where they'll be on one spot for 6 months to a year. And that's how they do it. And they bounce around a little bit within that area. And then, there's other people that do, I think you're the first actual medical that I've talked to, or medical care that I've talked to. I think. Can't remember everybody.
I know I've met a lot of nurses and some dental hygienists.
Yeah.
I think.
Really? Dental hygienist, how does that work? Same idea, just jumping into dental offices or what?
Yes.
I think so. You can ask Regina.
Really? Regina who? Who? I'll write her down.
Seeking Creation.
Oh. Her last name.
Yeah, I'm talking to her. She's coming to Idaho here in like the summer, so I'm going to end up meeting up with her.
Yes. Yeah. She does dental work.
Tall?
Yeah.
Yeah. She's even shorter for you, big guy.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's how I tell people when I meet them in person. That's the weirdest thing is like I'll talk to somebody for so long, and when I meet them, I'm like, I know you, or I feel like I know you, and then when I meet you, the one thing I'm thrown off at is height. Like some people are much shorter or much taller than I expect.
Yeah, I had at the Tampa show specifically, they're like, "You're a lot taller than I thought you'd be." I'm like, "Would you just expect me to be short?" Like, all you get to see is this.
Just assume.
Yeah. That makes what that does.
Yeah. I know how that feels. I walk in and they're like, "Wow, you're terrifyingly large." Sometimes.
You didn't scare me, pal.
Man, okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry that I'm scared. scary.
Where was it? I was somewhere like around a campfire or something. I stood up to shake somebody's hand, and he's like, "Wow, you just keep on going up."
Yeah. What are you? 6? You got to be what? 6'6"?
I'm 6'6". Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's
you don't meet a lot of the large individuals in the RV community.
no.
I mean, I met
really.
a handful, but not not as big as I am, because you hit your
Yeah,
head on
you're-
everything.
Just above the crowd. Hey.
yeah, don't over there.
Yeah, my guy.
Can't hide. It's hard to hide in crowds and things,
Yeah, that's true. I get
So.
that. But all right. So your guys, I mean, you kind of it was a mutual decision to go on the road because of how the life or the work life was going, right? So, but how did you go about planning for that? So you said the house was up, you put up the house for sale because it was, a good time to sell. And then you went into the Keystone, Montana, and then yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. But what steps did you take to prepare for full-time life? Because it sounds like you just kind of made it happen. But how long did it take?
Yeah,
Was it baptism by fire?
It was like, hey, we should travel in a camper full time. And it was like, okay.
All right.
No research, no nothing. We were just like, yeah, let's put the house up for sale. Let's do it. Whatever.
Yeah.
There was no all these people you see. It's like, I've been researching this for a year and a half before we jumped in. I'm like, we spent maybe 20 minutes talking about it, and we were like, all right, time to go. It's like, then we just started scouring RV plans. We knew kind of what we wanted, space wise. And we actually found this floor plan. Some guy locally was selling one. We went and looked at it, and we're like, oh, we like that floor plan. It's really cool. But at the time, we just weren't ready to pull the trigger and buy one, right? So then we went a little longer, started scouring the internet, and then finally found one, and then went through the whole purchasing process. But again, it was I bet we didn't spend a month researching, or we're just like, we're going to do this because it's we knew she was going to work. So it's we have to do this if we're going to stay together, be together. While you travel. So it was there was no second guessing it. It was just, let's do it. Why not?
But we also didn't this was not the plan.
Staying on the road was not the plan.
Yeah,
It was temporary, year and a half, something like that.
We didn't see it going this long. So that part's been crazy.
And then we were just like, this is fun. Let's just keep doing it. Why stop?
Yeah.
But I'm also the one that's she's the thinker, the planner, I need to know the ins and outs. And I'm just let's do it. Rock it. I don't care.
Time is now.
Pull the trigger, ask questions later kind of thing,
Yeah. It ain't all bad, though. Baptism by fire, right? They say it's
it's we'll learn as we go. It's fine. We're not worried
that's
about
awesome.
What we've done.
So
Craft's gonna break. It'll be fine.
Yeah. It's not when, it's if. It's not if, it's when.
Yeah, for sure.
So what was the? So you said it wasn't really a. It was kind of a baptism by fire. It all happened within X amount of time. What was that X amount of time?
Man, I bet it was before we decided to travel. I bet it was because we bought our camper in August.
Okay.
We had.
I
bet it was from I don't know, the spring, April, May, something like that, maybe, to that August. So through the summer is kind of the planning process.
Dang.
Emptying the house. We had nothing of value in the house anymore. All of our furniture was junk anyway. So either got given away or I lit it on fire in the backyard kind of thing. Right. Cause I didn't it wasn't sellable. It was all I was we'll just burn it, whatever. So getting everything dwindled down to a little corner of a couple boxes in my parents' garage is all we own outside of what's in our camper.
Oh, really?
So, so cars, everything. From selling cars to, used car prices going so high, they helped us get out from under a bad car loan that we had on a nice car. So they were I'd put it up for sale, had some dealership in Tennessee go, hey, we'll come pick it up tomorrow for the price you want. And I'd listed it for more than what it was worth. And they were yeah, we'll come get it. Brought me a check the next day, picked the car up. I was
I thought it was a scam.
It was just one thing after another was just falling into place. And we're all right, let's go.
Yeah.
Really?
Got the truck, got the camper. So we bought it. Like I said, I bet it was just it had to be just more than 2 or 3 months, if that.
Yeah.
From the time we said, look, we're going to do this to the time we had a camper.
Yeah. I was nervous because houses were selling so fast, and like trying to line up the timing of, okay, we're selling our house.
What happens if we don't find a camper?
We gotta have a camper.
Yeah.
All of that. So it was very quick.
Yeah.
Very quick.
And then we spent from August until the next spring. Because our oldest was in kindergarten, let him finish the school year, and then that's when we left out.
Yeah.
So that next spring we hit the road for our first couple months of like going before we stopped for her to work again.
Yeah.
Interesting. So it happened quick.
Very quick.
It sounds
very
like
quick.
Yeah, it sounds like you were already kind of minimalistic anyway. If you purged that quickly.
Yeah, we went through a stint of like, if it wasn't bolted down, she sold it, kind of thing. Just to kind of, we were just working on paying some debt, school loans and crap, stuff we just need to get rid of. And it was like, well, if we're not using it, might as well sell it, right, or get rid of it. So I mean, like by the time we got to where we were selling the house, the house was practically empty.
Yeah,
we're not like a keeper of a lot of stuff, especially if it's not useful stuff.
No.
So we're just like, made it easy to get rid of everything.
Yeah, some people go through like major purges, right? I mean, the American world is pretty consumerism. Like, we buy stuff, and it's typically 90% junk, right? A lot of it is.
100%.
I mean, yeah, what's actually useful? Well, not everything.
Yeah.
And I've had, I heard a statistic the other day that 60%. So like you only have 2 kids and they were young at the time, but 60% of the world's toys are in the U.S. alone.
Wow.
Don't surprise me. I thought we got 60% of the U.S. toys in our camper.
Yeah.
They don't even play with them.
It's just a gross statistic of, just our consumerism as a whole. Right?
Yeah.
We're a marketing, advertising capital of the world. And we just like, we can, the industry giant, right? Whatever it is. But yeah, so you guys planned a little quicker than most, but how did you first choose your first RV? You ended up in the Keystone, Montana, right? Which is a longtime favorite in the RV industry. And, but what advice would you give on top of that for someone selecting their first RV? Because it's not the exact, you walk into the RV space, it's like something completely different than walking into the housing space, right? And real estate is a little more normal because people live in houses, right? But when you step into the RV space, it's a totally new world. A whole new world, Aladdin style. It's a totally different thing. And it's like you can't. I walked into it from the construction world because that's what I did, and I was really good at it. And I understand construction probably better than most people because that's how my brain works, right? But I stepped out of that into the RV space, and I had no clue what I was walking into. And the first 3 months were like just mind-boggling, drinking from a fire hose, right? But how did you go about choosing yours, and what advice would you give to someone that's trying to choose their first RV, whether it be for full time or not?
I honestly don't even remember how we landed on Keystone.
So you're no help. You're not being any help then.
No, I'm not.
Well, I feel like the sales rep suggested Montana.
Yeah, they're just such the quality. Because we told them, hey, we're gonna live in it. It's gonna be used a lot. And they're like, well, the Montana has a reputation for high quality. Yeah.
And we looked for the kids space.
And the floor plan is probably the biggest thing, and that's probably the biggest advice I have for people is like find the floor plan you want first. Yeah. Like, hey, I want a bunk room, or hey, I need this space or this space for my kids, or storage here. What's most important to you, and then go somewhere that has a lot of options to look at. Right. Yeah. So your bigger dealerships, RV shows, somewhere where you can see a bunch at a time and then make a bunch of notes, right? And figure out what is best for you, the quality that you like. That way you can put your hands on it, touch it, feel it, and things like that.
We call that the scratch and sniff. Give it the scratches.
I've heard people like testing them out for so long, but I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, people who rent. Some people I've seen people
Like,
that rent them. Find a company that rents them out. Like, hey, I want to rent this one to see what it's like for a month, whatever. But yeah, I off the top of my head, I can't. It was the floor plan for us is why we found this particular model, is because there wasn't another model that had this particular layout with the big rear den that we have.
And I'll say, and I've spoken to a lot of people. So when we picked ours, I'm like, I want a second bathroom where the door is on the outside so people can come in and use that instead of trekking through a house to use our bathroom.
Yep.
Yeah, I've talked to a lot of people, and now I've learned through experience that it's not worth it. It's been transferred into a closet now.
Yeah, it doesn't have a toilet in it anymore.
Like it just, the one that we have is so tiny, and it's like the way the piping is, the kids would clog it all the time.
Every time. So because like it came in, but then it was like a direct 90 before it dropped into the tank back there. So it was like the toilet paper would just pile up, and I'm just like, I'm tired of cleaning this. Let's quit using it. We'll turn it into a closet.
Duct tape, no more.
So I just took the whole toilet out and sealed it up.
Oh, that's one way to do it.
Yeah.
So is there a shower in there too?
What's that?
Was there a shower in there too, or no?
No, it's just a half bath, just a sink and a toilet. I should turn it into a shower because it's got a really tall ceiling.
There you go. Can you stand up in yours up front?
Yeah, I can in the skylight.
Yeah, you're doing the elf thing, right?
So I got to stand in the skylight. If I'm not paying, then I'll hit my head sometimes.
I get that.
I think you hit your head daily.
At least once, if I'm not paying close attention, I'm just like, then I get mad. I'm like, but to cut all these door frames out.
Yeah, I did that the other day. What did I do? I hit my head on something. I was so mad because I guess the average height is like 5'10", 5'11" in the U.S., right? So I'm taller than that, but it's like I hit myself, and I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, this never happened.
I'm so tired of hitting my head.
I don't even know what it was or when it was. No, well, it doesn't matter. But so the floor plan is like the number one reason why people buy. That's what we were taught like day one. Floor plan sells. And then price, and then people, and then place, right? So like they gotta like the price, they gotta like the people they're buying from, they like that place they're buying from. So, but floor plan is major key when choosing, especially you guys that are going full time. That's a totally different animal, and apparently it's been working out for you for 3.5 years. You stayed in the same one. I'm sure there's some other floor plans that really catch your eye, but
there are now. But
there it is. Yeah. She's like, I've been eyeing one.
Yeah, we found a couple of the couple more Montanas we love, but it's not worried. It's not working out yet.
Yeah. Let them get used a little and then come back.
Yeah, so I need to buy a used one. That's why Buzz also we bought ours used, and I think that helped because it was like, hopefully all the major stuff that maybe was going to broke and had already been fixed. Because we have had, I don't want to jinx it, but we have had very little issues outside of like flat tires, stuff like that. But like cosmetic issues with the camper, plumbing, stuff like that, we've had like zero issues. Just the way it's built. It's a 2019.
Okay, so it had a couple years under it.
Yeah, so it had already been 2020, or right into 2021 is when we bought it, I guess. So it had been used, so all the kinks have been worked out, hopefully. And again, we haven't had any major issues that, you see a lot of people have. That's unfortunate, where they gotta, because it's like, that's another thing. It's like, man, what do we do if something like that happens? It's like, then you just lose your home while it's getting fixed. And that's just a terrible thing. That I don't want to deal with.
If you don't want to lose your home, use promo code RVVoice by RVFix.
There you go.
You talk to a virtual technician, they're going to walk you through your issues 50% of the time right over the phone. It's going to be great.
Love it. Yeah, for
all
sure.
while keeping your RV. If so facto they need to order parts, they will do that and get your warranty done for you. And then you take it in 1 to 3 days, you're in and out of there. So sorry, I had to take advantage of that opportunity right there. You
No,
gave
listen,
me
set you up perfect. I'm just lobbing you softballs.
that was a meatball. I loved it. But so yeah, that was another selling point for me when I was when I was selling RVs, buying used. Yeah, a lot of those quirks are probably going to be worked out of it. When it's brand new, I mean, they're handmade, right? They go down a line. One guy has a job to do, and what he does is he gets really good at that job, really fast at that job. But the problem is when you get really fast, you make mistakes. It just happens, right? Things go down the road, wiggle, wobble, bounce, whatever. It's going to happen. But on that 2 to 3 year mark afterwards, usually all those stuff is like all those kinks and quirks are kind of worked out. So you guys did it right in some aspects for that, buying used. I pushed buying used, but some people wanted to buy new because of warranty, right? So
yeah.
So it's all
There's
you can
benefits to it.
Yeah, skin a cat 100 ways, right? Or something like that. But
that's the way I'd buy new. It's like, I want to buy new, but if a cabinet falls off, you're fixing it. I want it covered.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense,
handle
right?
Comes loose. I want to be able to bring it in free of charge for you to fix. I want that level of warranty.
Yeah. full coverage, anything and everything. Awesome. So what's daily life look like for you guys now? So, Erica, you're still doing the respiratory therapy, right? And then you're still, I'm guessing, Ben, you're still the stay-at-home dad and killing it with the kids, right? Or is there more to it now?
Yeah, more to it now since this May, she's not in the hospital anymore. So now I work a couple remote jobs. She does her social media stuff. So she's doing more all the kid stuff now, the school, the homeschool stuff, the home,
just like stay-at-home,
the stay-at-home mom kind of stuff that you would, is normally see in a house. So she does that now. And then I work most of the day, right? So we flip-flopped. Yeah. So it's allowed us to travel more, be more flexible in our schedule. And our, like I said, a daily life for us is, it's slow. It's like, we don't wake up early if we don't have to, right? We just wake up when we get up. Because that's how flexible my jobs are. It's just get in, knock out what you need to do. And so we usually get up, get the kids some breakfast, get some coffee, and then they knock out their schoolwork because they don't know how to do anything else till it's done. So nice. So this morning, Elliot was 7 a.m. He had started his schoolwork on the computer. Our son, he was like up getting it done. So yeah, they can get that done before lunch. They're completely done with schoolwork and everything before lunch, and then after lunch, it's just whatever we want to get into, whatever adventures we want to go find. Yeah. So we usually try to. We're trying hard to not pack our days full of stuff, and really be intentional on just time together, doing things that are important to us all. So like something that we all like to do. Because that's one thing I think that traveling full time has really helped, is like not having to be committed every night of the week to something. Yeah. Whether it's sports or drama club or this or that, that you normally fall into when you're at home in a sticks and brick house. So like we've really found an intentional way to just kind of slow down and be together more as a family unit, So that's what we try to focus on in the afternoons, is like doing things together if we need to, or if Erica has some work she needs to get done, that's usually what she does in the afternoon. Yeah. It's like, hey, I knock out some of my social media videos, things I got to get done. And then I can switch over to taking care of the kids, hanging out with them, whatever it is. And in most parks, there's enough kids to where the kids are just outside and they're gone, right? All day. The rest of the afternoon, they're like, we're going to go play Nerf war or basketball or swim or whatever. So that's what our days normally look like. It's just a lot of work up hard till lunch, and then after lunch, let's go have fun. And the work we do now allows for that flexible schedule.
Yeah. I'm doing it wrong then. Oh, hey, you got the power.
I must say, I don't know why it keeps doing that.
Yeah.
See that?
Thumbs up. Yeah.
Did you see your bubble come up?
Yes. Yeah, I was saying, I feel like
too.
Every time I move, it does that.
So does it catch it when you do the?
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, if you do it,
No.
come on.
No, we didn't do it yet.
No, you got to hang on to it. You got to hang on to it just a little bit.
Let's see.
Okay, well, it's not catching mine. Whatever.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah. I'd say it's not the time. It's not the moment.
Yeah. It's gotta be organic.
Yeah. You can't plan it. Yeah.
Force this hard.
Oh, so you guys kind of you flipped. So you got out of the medical part of things, kind of focusing more on the travel, being more present with your family, right? Yesterday I was talking to Kirsten with the Tactical Trekkers. She said the same thing, right? That she had this busyness of life before full-time life, right? So she had this, like, she couldn't even like focus on emotion, like what emotion she was giving out or her emotions in general because of the busyness of life, right? They're like, oh, it is what it is. I got more stuff to do. It's more important going this way. But like when you're going this way, you become completely focused on there it is again. You do it again. Anyway, yeah. You just kind of like forget of like being present, right? Now you guys are taking kind of life by the horns and saying, this is what we have to do. This is more important than the rest of it, which I think is, that's commendable for you guys. Good for you. Because your kids are what, 5, you said? 5-ish?
9 and 7.
So they're 9 and 7. They're like, there's pivotal moments along there. There's milestones like you would miss otherwise doing like the 6-day work and then 8 days off, 6 days. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My parents being some of those people, it happened. Like we had to provide for our family, and that's how it goes. But being in the full-time RV life, being a part of those things is awesome. But along with full-time RV life, it comes with other challenges, right? So what are some of the biggest challenges that you faced while turning into the RV life or becoming full-time RVers? And like, how did you overcome some of those?
The biggest challenge we faced at the beginning was just community.
Yeah.
Like not having, because we were having to stay stationary in places, and the places you stay stationary that are usually cheap to afford monthly are not like
great
family friendly community places, right? It's just a place to park.
So the first year we didn't meet a single full-timer. They were all weekenders.
Really?
So we didn't have 1,000 Trails until
this year.
Yeah, 2024. So it was like, because we had joined the full-time families group and it was great, but we didn't have 1,000 Trails, so it didn't really help. And then now it's been wonderful.
Yeah.
But yeah, the first year we didn't meet. Everybody was a weekender.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
Yeah, a lot of weekenders, but we would meet like local people, right? Because in the communities we're living in. So we were staying in the community. We'd like get the kids involved and stuff because we're there long enough. So you meet people, but not like a good community that you would think like a neighborhood, right? You don't have that neighborhood feel. Whereas now, we met some people. We've got people we travel with more frequently. So that community aspect has grown tremendously. Like,
yeah. Well, I'm getting better, but I am a very big introvert. Like I would stay inside. And so like now I'm being more intentional and learning that if you stay inside, you will not make friends.
That's right. Yeah. You're not gonna make
weird.
You don't go outside.
Weird how that works.
It's like, you got to go outside your RV.
Yeah. You got to hang out outside and actually go talk to people.
So I'm better.
Yeah, you're doing great. Doing wonderful.
You did great. You came up and talked to me at the show. I had no problems with it.
Yeah. So she says that, but like just this last week, we were at the 1,000 Trails Orlando Park, and she put together a Valentine's Day like tea party thing for kids, right?
Yeah.
And it started with like 12 and it grew to like 55 kids and their parents.
Yeah.
Like within 2 days. Like she was planning it. So and she planned it, the whole thing, with a couple other moms. They all got together. Yeah. And that's the kind of the community aspect that we found is like, hey, we can still do the same type of things that you would do in a normal house with other families, like school, like a Valentine's Day party to school is the same situation, but we just did it at the campground, right? So yeah, this year specifically, 2024, we really built, I feel like, a good community of people.
Yeah.
And we do that so we're part of a ministry that we do called Gathering the Nomads that is specifically focused on that aspect of like, let's go find the people and let's build a community, because they probably don't have it like we did, right? They're probably lonely on the road. They need people that'll just come hang out with them by the fire. So being part of that ministry has helped a lot as well, of just being very intentional and focused on the community building aspect of the nomadic life, right? So that's something we do and have been really intentional about the last year as well.
Huh. Interesting. That's the first. I think there's only one other person, like one other family, that said that like community was the hard part, you know, because like, I mean, but they might have dove in 1,000 trails first. You know what I mean? Like you guys not doing that, you're in the semi long-term stays, which like you said, not exactly the most family friendly. I mean, everyone knows what those RV parks look like, you know?
Yeah, it's just trailer park, right? Campers like that. It's like, okay, you know, we're here. We know why we're here, so it's like you can do anything for for a short amount of time. So it's like you just grit your teeth, get through it. But being now in a place, and then this year in 2024 when we left, we started caravanning with a couple families.
Oh, there you go.
So we linked up in Montana in June, and then we were together from June to like October.
Yeah, I was here for a while.
Going everywhere together. So that was a whole new challenge of like learning how to travel together and like having good communication, right? Of like different family dynamics and things like that. So that was a whole curve, right?
And it's like these are like being our best friends. You would never think like it would just be.
You think it'd just be easy?
Easy, it'd be great. But no, we realize it takes lots of communication, and I mean it's wonderful. It's so much fun, but it takes a lot of communication. Yeah.
So that's the community aspect and all that. That's great. But now we've learned, okay, we've had enough community for a little while. Yeah. But like this next like
it's a balancing act.
Like,
a little break.
But like
sometimes.
This next like 3 to 4 weeks, it's like we're just on our own, right? We're out of the 1,000 trails. We're going to some other parks in the Gulf, and to be away, not like away like in a bad sense, but like intentionally just kind of be away from all the people, like kids coming knocking on your door at 8 a.m. wanting the kids to play, and it's like our kids aren't even awake yet, you know, go away, that kind of thing.
Beat it.
Which is not a big deal. Like we love it. Like that's what we want from for our kids to have those kind of friendships. But now we can kind of get away for just a little bit before we link back up again with 2 other families or more.
Yeah. We just have to make sure that we're taking time for the 4 of us too. Because if not, then we'll get busy, and then the kids will be gone all day, playing all day, and then we'll just see each other before bedtime. So we have to be intentional to find breaks for just the 4 of us too.
Yeah. So that's what this next few weeks is. A break.
Well, that's intentional, right? You're going, you're taking your life and saying, hey, this is exactly what I want to do, you know, and a lot of people just kind of fall into the normality of the 9 to 5. Well, it's harder to be intentional that way when you have, like you said, sports, drama. I mean, I'd show up at school in high school at 7 a.m., 6:30 sometimes, and I wouldn't leave till 9 because I did everything. You know, I know what you mean. I was in band, I was in sports, I was in drama. Like I did it all. And that was my normal occurrence all the time. And it's just crazy. You got someone in there with you?
Elliot. He's running past us.
You know? You guys both looked away like, who's there?
I was like, he's getting something. That was right.
So we would do like they would go to school and we'd go to work, and then they would be in sports, and then he worked at a church, and so we were there every night, multiple nights a week. So it's like you only seeing the kids an hour 30 minutes before bed, and then in the morning before we take them to daycare and school, right? So it's like that's not good quality time. So that was one thing that this life has offered. It's like, okay, now we can really. And we were just talking, it's like, man, I hope our kids remember this. Like, the quality time that they actually got that a lot of kids probably don't get, because there are, not that it's a bad thing, but like they're into everything, right?
Yeah.
And especially if there's multiple kids, and it's like one's going here, one's going there. So the whole family is split up throughout the week. So, So again, not like it's a bad thing. I mean, that's what I did. I had 2 brothers. That's what we did. You know, we were into everything.
Yeah, literally.
It's like you. It's like leaving for school at 6:30, not coming home till 7 or 8 at night because of practice and games or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
but a little different when you're in a full-time RV life, and
yeah.
You know, it's making it intentional about spending time together. You know, I mean, you're within a couple hundred square feet, so you have to spend time together, right?
Yeah.
It's it's almost like forcing it upon yourselves in the right ways, right? All for the right reasons too. Which is good. It's all good stuff. But question on so moving into I'm guessing you homeschool now, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. So is that a challenge for you, or how do you go about handling that? Because it's a little different lifestyle, I'm guessing, than when you guys first started. They were just starting preschool or kindergarten. You said, is that kind of a hard transition for you guys? You guys kind of fall into that pretty well.
They called it fake school for a very long time.
Like when we go to real school, when we go back to real school.
Yeah.
Fake school. I think
so,
I'm telling. You can tell me. I'll tell them that they're doing just fine. They'd much rather be doing homeschooling.
I know. Sometimes like you can go back to school for 9 hours a day. Hey,
there it is again. I'm gonna hold it for a minute.
I think it's only catching mine.
Yeah.
But yeah.
When they complain about it's normally Mondays.
Yeah.
They know when Monday is. No, when they complain about the timing of they don't want to do school, and I'm like, it literally takes you max 2 hours.
Yeah, totally.
And I'm like, I can send you to school and you can do it for 8 hours if you would like to. And they're like, and
give you homework and everything for us too, you know.
Yeah,
we can make it work, but not the transition wasn't like a big transition because Elliot had only been in kindergarten, and then Riley was only in daycare / preschool. So it's really as far as schoolwork, that's all they've ever known. You know, it's been homeschool. Now we've tried different homeschool curriculums. Right, we had all book curriculum once, and then now we switched to an online. Yeah. Because bless my wife's heart over here, she doesn't have the patience to sit and do the books with them like I do. so we switched into an online computer-based curriculum, which has been good too, I think. But I mean, it has both, so she has to sit and help them as well. Yeah. But it's a little less reading out of a book and trying to teach them that way. Yeah. So again, it wasn't a big transition, but I think they enjoy it. And I think they would miss it if we sent them back to a public school or something like that. They'd be like, well, this is terrible.
Yeah.
Why do I got to get up at 6:30?
Yeah, and they want to beat the personality out of you, and then you got to go. Yeah, they're creating an 8 to 5er, right? I mean, that's what this public school system is. I have a lot of qualms with that, but we're not going to talk about that. Do you have a question? What do you have? What is it? I've heard of different homeschooling onlines. Which one do you use?
So right now we're doing Mia Academy. We were doing the Good and the Beautiful, which we love. I love both of them. So now I kind of mix Mia Academy with the Good and the Beautiful still, because they love certain aspects of one and certain aspects of another.
Yeah.
So, which I didn't think we would ever do is mix them, but a lot of people that I talk to mix a bunch of different curriculums. And then we have one that was struggling with reading, so I called some friends that were teachers back home, and they gave me what the public school uses. So we use a kind of a mixture of everything. So it's been nice.
So is that something you pay for, or is that just given? Yeah. Like free public schooling?
I wish. Well, no. So Lexia, I paid for.
Okay.
But no, there is public school. You can get free stuff, but it was you have to have your kids available Monday through Friday, 8 to 3.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to do that.
At least from back home, they offered that. After COVID, they were like, okay, if you want to keep your kids home on a virtual school, so we can enroll them in virtual public school. Yeah. Back home. But again, it's school day. They have to be on their computer from whatever time.
Yeah. It's sitting in a class.
Yeah. So,
which I I think quite a few people do that too.
Yeah, there's a lot of people
I
still do
just don't think it would be good for us, like on travel days and stuff like that. If I have to say, okay, on Monday at between 2 and 3, he has a class or she has a class, so we can't do anything.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So, well, she's worked out deals through her stuff to get some of that curriculum, you know, that we can't. That's super expensive. You know, it's like, okay, they little exchange of goods for her. So
yeah, I do a lot of photography for brands and companies, and that offsets the cost of schooling.
Yeah, so to make it more affordable because it's not cheap.
So there's a price to these Mia Academy and stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh. Yeah. It's not cheap.
Yeah, it's like The Good and the Beautiful. It's like you're buying college textbooks all over again. It's like, man, what the heck? This is ridiculously expensive, but it's worth it.
It's very worth it.
And there's different, like I said, our states just don't offer it, but there are different ways to get it and grants and stuff like that. We just don't take advantage of it.
Well, we have South Dakota, so they do not.
Yeah.
That I'm aware of.
Yeah, so.
But I know Florida does.
Yeah, so there's like homeschool grants, things like that you can get, but we just don't have access to them, unfortunately. So, but like you said, each one has its merits. Like The Good and the Beautiful is good for a lot of things, like core curriculum things, math, reading, things like that. But like this Mia Academy we got, it's really neat because the kids can pick like elective classes, right? So like typing or ASL.
Yeah, Riley's in music
classes,
and they can do like foreign languages.
Yeah, so they can
stuff like that.
They can do a lot more things. That's like, okay, well, I don't have time during the day to try to teach you French, right? So you can pick.
I just don't have time, man.
To pick those things, right? And learn something that they want. Like I'm not like all these people do like the unschool stuff or like that let their kids pick subjects they want to learn.
Yeah,
like that's what I want them to be like. Okay, you're interested in this. Okay, you like computers. You want to learn how to code video games. Here's a class on it. You can do it.
That's cool.
So that kind of stuff is what we try to figure out creative ways to do. So it's just like, okay, you're going to sit and do your reading, writing, and arithmetic and be done for the day.
Yeah.
Wow. So, I talked to Kirsten yesterday with Tactical Trekkers. I mean, yesterday, as in recording yesterday. I mean, whoever sees this, when they see this, you just look for the other one. But she had a really cool concept of like, kids are sponges, right? Mm-hmm. So they do have like homeschooling and they do that, whatever. I don't know exactly how they go about it. I can't remember, but she set a point that like these kids are learning at all times. So like what I do is like, hey, when we're going to like if we go stop at a cash register, like you can count change, that's learning math. Mm-hmm. Or just like, how do you, how about you learn about nutrition now because we're at the grocery store, and stuff like that. So it's like, it's a constant learning versus just like homeschooling, like here's your 2 hours, get it done and move on. No, like you're with them all the time. So like, all right, you're going to learn how to do normal life things at a young age. It's almost like home ec on steroids, right? I didn't have home ec. I wish I did. I wish I had a cooking class growing up. I love cooking. It's like one of my favorite things to do, but there was more to it than that. There was like, raising a child, and it's this, I think it was an interesting thing. So y'all, I'll send it to you, but everyone out there listening, check out for that one. Cause that's a really cool concept that she had, that Kirsten had, but Udemy, you heard of Udemy Academy? No,
I haven't.
So it's like I don't know if it's really good for like homeschooling specifically, but there's a lot of things that you can basically learn, like Excel, like learning Excel. It's like it's almost like a college course. You pay like $25 or whatever, and it's like 16 hours of stuff where you can just walk there and like figure out how to use Excel. Excel is a great, for like doing things for a company or a career. Excel is a very high paid skill sometimes. So there's something else you can check out.
There you go. Write that down.
Yeah. So homeschooling. What about sports? So you said you got 2 boys, right?
Boy and a girl.
Boy and a girl. So like, what are you guys gonna I know there's like camps and stuff. I-9 Sports is another one. What do you guys like plan to do that? Because like for me specifically, I wouldn't be me without athletics. That's what I did forever. It trained me to be the person I am today.
No.
But what do you guys? Yeah, what do you guys do? What's your plan for sports? If sports at all?
Well, we were trying to do I-9 Sports while we were down here in Florida, but it just didn't line up with where we were staying the longest, and I was not about to drive an hour and a half, to take them to an hour of baseball. So we have done like Upward Sports. Upward is like a lot of churches do it. It's like a ministry type thing, but it's very like recreational. It's not super stressful on the kids. It's just like, hey, we're here to learn together how to play. So I've done that. So like if we're stationary somewhere long enough, we'll do like Upward basketball, but they have like every sport for that too: volleyball, soccer, baseball, flag football, whatever.
She's done cheerleading,
dance, all that kind of stuff. So we are actually this year we're probably going to do like the spring baseball back home because we're going to go home for just a little bit. It's just like April, May, June is the spring baseball season. So we're going to go and sign them up for like a rec league there. So that is the hardest part because we are not staying somewhere long enough to play organized sports, right? So while we were in Orlando, they were playing flag football every day, right? Enough of the kids were getting together playing two-hand touch football or flag football or whatever, basketball, soccer. So like they're playing sports, it's just not organized right now. So that's because I'm like you. It's like that's what I grew up from the time I could walk. Yeah, I was playing baseball, basketball, football until the
organized,
time I went to
city
college,
league,
right?
whatever it
was. So it's like, how do we find time to do that? And that's probably the hardest part, unless you're going to sacrifice time to stay somewhere long enough. That's the biggest issue with that. It's just time. So like we have to say, okay, well, we're going to stay here for 3 months so they can play something. Because we've done it a couple times with Elliot for baseball. He's done a couple baseball seasons.
That was an easy choice though, because I was working in the hospital.
Yeah, we were staying somewhere long enough. So this time it's like, okay, we're going to sacrifice a little bit of traveling to give the kids something they can do for a few months, right? So it's all a give and take a lot, unless you're going to be, again, the I-9 thing is great. It just didn't line up with our schedule at the time. So but also just, and another thing I've studied on this too is like kids, especially kids who play baseball, a lot of the travel teams in the area, you just message the coaches or whatever, and they'll let you come practice a lot of times. Like, hey, can my son come, just practice with you guys? It may cost a little bit of money, but and I've seen instances, it's not every one of them, but I've seen people who've done that. They'll reach out and say, hey, my kid, we're in town just for the winter. Can he come practice? He's not going to take a spot on your roster for a game or whatever. But then they've had instances where like, hey, we've got 3 or 4 kids out. Can your kid come play this game? Can your kid come play this weekend tournament with us? And they can do that. I have seen that, especially with travel baseball, softball. That some of these coaches are willing to let, a kid come just practice. Yep. And that's really all they want, they need, come practice with them, cool if you get to play in the game, but if not, at least you're learning to play still.
Being mobile and isn't an option. Training those neurons to do something, your muscles to do other things. It always kind of like, okay, well, if I were to do this, first I got to find the person to do it with, and then kids eventually, right? I can't not see my children playing sports. Like I can't. I played college football. Like I can't. I have to see it. Like sure. If they don't want to play sports, I'll be fine. I'll figure out something to do.
Yeah. I'm kind of the same because I'm never one to like get me started on like travel sports and crap like that, dude. That drives me nuts. But I'm like, okay, I just burn your kid out before they're 12.
Yeah. I don't like baseball again, when I'm 15. Yeah.
Right. It's like let's let them play, 3 or 4 different sports through the year instead of one sport all year for their whole childhood. So it's like I'm the same with you, man. I played college football, and it's like that's what I did. It's okay. How do we get them involved? And I've never wanted to push them to something until they're interested. Yeah. Like I'm not going to force it on them. Like if they don't want to do it, it's fine. Like I'm not going to be like, hey, you have to go play baseball every day. I'm like, but Elliot throws right-handed and bats left-handed, so I'm trying to push him towards baseball. so I can retire when he turns 18 and goes
Oh,
to
yeah.
the
See,
right?
hey, the master plan. The master plan.
For some reason, he does everything right-handed, but he picked up a baseball bat and started hitting left-handed.
Kid's going to be well-balanced individual.
That's right. I was like, here we go. We got to get you. We got to get you going, buddy.
Yeah, I was fully one-sided. If you had me one way, you ain't gonna win.
That's
the other
right.
way, you might run right through me.
But yeah, sports is one thing that I wish we could do more of.
Yeah.
At least organized. But at the same time, it's like, okay, that's one of the things that it's the give or take, right? It's one of the like busy life things that we don't want to get into right now. But again, it's like when he's in middle, there's still plenty of time, right, for him to get into it. He doesn't have to play baseball and football and all that at 9 years old, right? No, he can learn to do that. He can learn to play when he's just playing pickup games in the fields at the RV parks. But like when it gets time for like serious organized sports, he'll be plenty well ahead of everybody, same level as everybody else, right?
Yeah. Cross that bridge when you get there.
Yeah, because it's like, it's all these people who are, it's, again, we could talk about this for days, right? It's like all these parents are like, well, my kid's got to play on this travel team. He's never going to make it to college. I'm like, well, if your kid's good enough, he's going to make it.
Yeah.
If he's not good enough, he's not going to make it. Sorry.
Yeah, pretty black and white.
It's like, it doesn't matter how many teams he played on when he was 10. If he's not good enough when he's 16, it doesn't matter.
It's not a what do you call that? I haven't even done a resume. Well,
I played on like they're not going to say, oh, you played on this travel team.
Oh yeah, you're booked. Sign here.
No, it's like, whatever.
Oh goodness.
But again, we'll leave that for another day. Another discussion.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always something I bring up just because I'm passionate about it. But financially,
I am too. I got 7:00. I got the Cats playing tonight. All right, and I schedule everything around the Kentucky Wildcats basketball games.
I must watch them. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like dinner plans. Sorry, I'm not coming. Like,
yeah. There's other things to do. More important things.
It was like the other day. I was like, oh, Saturday they were playing Tennessee or something. I was like, do not schedule anything on Saturday. I won't be there. Yeah. Like, I'm not doing it.
Oh goodness, that's funny. But anyway, so financially, things have changed up for you guys because it first started because of the medical career that you were in, and now that's gone, and now you flip roles because it was stay-at-home dad, now it's stay-at-home mom, and you guys switched, and now you're I guess this is how it is. So how do you guys sustain this lifestyle financially? And are there any specific tips to earning an income while on the road? Because nowadays there's a million ways to make money.
Oh yeah, it's like
online
crazy.
Or remote. I mean, there's opportunity everywhere, right? So what tips would you give to someone, or even budgeting advice that you give about RVing?
So he says, like,
what's so funny about budgeting?
No.
So we were Dave Ramsey people for like a long time, like hardcore, and that's how we got set up to really do this. I mean, in the beginning, was like we didn't have a lot of debt outside of school loans, right? We were like, we're gonna get rid of all this. So, but you go, you're the budgeter, I'm the spender.
That's what, he always says I kill his dreams.
She's the dream killer. I'm like, let's do this, this, and this. Like, we can't. I'm like,
oh, she's the voice of reason, huh? Yeah, one of them.
That's a fancy term. Voice of reason.
Yeah. I like that. I like that better.
Yeah. Well, hey, it's true. To me, I want to go buy a '96 Bronco like tomorw, but I can't.
Yeah, right.
Well, at least I shouldn't.
Well,
yeah, you probably should.
No, we we were Dave Ramsey people for a while. I don't think Dave would be happy with our choices anymore. But but no, when we hit the road, we were pretty well, like I was making very good money because of COVID, and so we started not to, I guess, worry too much about a budget, which was a poor choice probably. Just because it was like, you would think the more money you make, the more you'd have in your bank account, and that
you just grow into your income. You grow into your income. That happens every time.
Ours is just we just eat. Like, we spend all of our money on food. Going out to eat or groceries. Like, it's all on food.
Yes.
Like, I will not do other things just so we can go out to eat.
I get that. I'm a foodie too. I
Yes.
freaking love it.
Now, I will say, so we've been doing this 3.5 years. I wish that I would have made a social media on every single visit that we've made to Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah, that was like our thing. I was like, we should have done a because we go to Buffalo. That's like one of our favorite restaurants for some reason. Buffalo Wild Wings. Love Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Wow. All right. Well,
and we
that's
go
a
to everywhere. We should have done a YouTube channel of like
every single V-Dubs.
rating every V-Dubs adventure across the country. Right.
It probably would be fantastic.
We're probably been sponsored by B-Dubs right now, just eating it every night.
That's
Hey,
right.
actually, real quick on that B-Dubs thing, I want to, since you're in Florida, have you ever heard of Glory Days?
No.
Well, they have phenomenal wings, and their customer service is fantastic. I thought it was like a Bruce Springsteen place, but it's not. It's just Glory Days. I was like, you guys missed out on a heavy opportunity. But it's like it's like B-Dubs, you know.
Glory Days Grill.
Yeah.
Is that close to me? So now I still use what's called the Every Dollar app, and that's how I keep track of everything that we spend. Every Dollar app. I'm pretty sure it's the Dave Ramsey.
That's a Dave. Yeah,
Dave Ramsey app, but it just lets you budget and see like how much income you're bringing in and how much you're spending, and you categorize everything.
It's good for slapping you in the face going, you spent how much money going out to eat this week?
Yeah.
No. And how much on groceries at the same time?
Yeah.
Dave Ramsey's so rigid.
Yeah.
Cash only every time.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah. No, we can't have cash because we just spend it.
Yeah, cash goes through my pocket like crazy.
Yeah.
There's a hole in there.
It's like it just falls out.
Yeah. But so when we first started, we did not have Thousand Trails, and actually I was terrified because I was nervous it would be like a timeshare thing and we'd be trapped, and I don't know. I was too scared. Now I wish that we would have, because that's how we afford this lifestyle right now.
It saves us a lot of money.
Yeah.
In the long run, not having to pay, retail prices, paying $1,000 for a week at a place, right?
Yeah.
We've been to some parks like that.
So now I pay $117 a month.
Yeah.
So, and that's like, 100% worth it.
Oh yeah, it is. If you
now that's the biggest way we save money. No, we do use Harvest Hosts and Boondockers Welcome.
Oh yeah.
They save us a ton of money, and honestly, they've been our favorite places, like top places to go. So it's just
on the Harvest Host, you say?
Yeah, Harvest Host. A lot of fun, like farms and breweries, and even just random people's.
A boondocking at a brewery? Sign me up. That'd be great.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I get to walk home.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there was one place. So I texted his mom and I said, "Hey, I don't know that I'm going to get your son to leave this place."
It's in Nebraska.
Yeah, it was in Nebraska.
Where?
It was in very far western Nebraska. Let me look it up.
It's called. And it was so funny. So it was this old couple. They met us when we got there with homemade cookies, and they did have hookups, and they took our kids like they were their grandkids and went and fed horses and let them swim at their house. And then we just sat on the back porch and talked all night long. And they had just had a potluck at their church. So they had all the leftovers and like the homemade ice cream and homemade cookies.
So you guys want this? I was like, well, yeah.
Yeah.
So, So I was like, I don't know. And then like, was it a year later, I think she accidentally butt dialed me. And she was like inviting me over for steak and game night. And I was like, well, I think you have the wrong number. And she was, and I told her who I was, and she was like, "Oh, well, you just come over too.
Just come on over."
And I'm like, "Well, I'm like 18 hours away, but
I'm not 100% sure where it was. It was somewhere north of Scottsbluff.
Oh, you were up there, Hayes Springs area.
I mean, we came out of like South Dakota, right down into Wyoming, and then right into Nebraska on our way down.
Would that
Harrison,
Trenton.
Trenton.
Is that in Nebraska? Is that in?
You're probably
Could be Harrison.
Harrison area. Yeah.
Yeah.
You find some really good people in Nebraska, I'm telling you.
Yes.
They were super nice. Yeah, he was like, yeah, somewhere in that area. So
they offered you a job.
Yeah, he was like, "You want to take over my church? We need a pastor." He's old, dude, about to retire. I was like, "No, I'm good. I'm gonna go on down the road." But yeah. So the Harvest Host, the Boondockers Welcome, those are some of the best places to go. Like we went to one in New Mexico. This lady brought us out some fresh sourdough bread. We ate the whole loaf like in one sitting because it was so good. Trenton, Nebraska.
Yeah,
that's way south.
Yeah,
pretty sure
south.
That's
was it south or was it southwest? Ish.
Yeah, southwest.
Together.
Yeah. Okay, Nebraska.
Sorry,
somewhere over there.
Western. I knew it was in the western part. I said it was north or south. I can't remember how far down Wyoming we had gone, but the Harvest Host saves us a lot of money, especially on long travel days. Finding a place to stop in between, and then when we went out west, it saved us a lot because we stayed at a lot of people's like just property, just like park in their front yard and hang out for a couple days, kind of thing. Some of them have electric, some of them don't, but but we're set. I mean, we have a generator and stuff, so we're good to go. Yeah. But
perfect.
Man, other ways that we budget and save money. I mean, and we actually helps us. We have our RV fridge broke, the one that came in. Apparently, if it gets too cold outside, it can break your RV fridge. In case you didn't know that. Figured that out. So
I did the hard way.
I was like, why is it not working?
So I didn't want to figure that out.
With a new, so we have a residential refrigerator here now, right? So being able to bulk buy groceries again.
Yeah, we go to Sam's.
Saves a lot of money, So we can go Sam's once every couple of weeks and load up on everything we need for cheaper.
Definitely
helps us a lot as well. So it's like kind of like it broke, but also it helped out because food doesn't go bad because the fridge is terrible. Like RV fridges, the freezer actually keeps things frozen. All that good stuff. So, and then I think buying a washer dryer combo unit that we have has helped because we don't spend as much money at laundry mats because those are expensive.
Yeah. Do you guys feel like you're always doing? So it's a combo. It's it's two in one, right? Do you feel like you're always doing laundry?
Yeah. Only because we get behind on it.
Or you can do like one load a day.
I was getting pretty good at like especially when she was working. It's like, okay, we're done for the day. Kids get ready for bed. Throw all your clothes in the washer. Start it by the morning. Bam, clothes are dry, ready to go. Right.
Okay.
So we never I almost never had dirty clothes. But now we're like. We just get behind.
Yeah. Right now,
we get to places. We don't have a full hookup where we're at. So if we get places like that, we don't do laundry. We just wait until we're somewhere with a full hookup. So, but that does save it. It does overall, I think, save us a lot of money on laundry mats, and we're not having to pay for electricity. So.
Well, there's a whole bunch of different ways. It sounds like budgeting goes into it, though. So, like that helps. Harvest Host helps. You got the every dollar budgeting, Dave Ramsey rigid way. That's tough. And not my favorite way. Like that's kind of an older. It's like it does work, and I think it's a great. Obviously, it's a great way of going things. He's famous for a reason, right? But it's almost harder in this day and age to be that person. Debt. There is a way to use debt to get rich or get money, right? It just happens. But then
not smart enough to do that. So it's like whatever.
Nor am I. But Harvest Host and boondocking, that's another great way about going about it. And do you guys boondock quite often, by chance, or no?
We do.
We want to more, but we can only do a day or two, like a few days.
Well.
Not set up for it,
or maybe.
We don't have I don't have like a big battery system or anything, so we just have to run our generator. So as long as I can run my generator, it's fine. I mean, like we did the 6 days at the NASCAR race in October.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So we camped on the infield at Charlotte in October for like 5 days.
Nice
for the race. So, but I mean, you can run a generator 24/7. So it's just the generator's rocking and rolling for like 6 days straight.
Just a hum, a hum of everybody around you.
Yeah, with everybody else. So, but we're kind of trying to get ourselves positioned to where like this next spring when we go out west, like Utah and stuff like that, Arizona, we can just do a lot more just going and parking out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Which we could now. It's just we never been brave enough to just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we will do more of that because I think we'll be with some other people. And it's always more fun with other people.
Yeah, most definitely. Speaking of other people, community and connection, we hit on it, and you said that was kind of one of the hardest things for you to break into because like your lifestyle you were living and how you were going about it, right? You were staying at longer term stays, which was, like you said, wasn't the most family friendly. But since then, it sounds like you found a sense of community. But do you guys do like the full time families rallies, 1,000 trails? You do, but any RV rallies? Have you gone to those by chance?
So we actually, the ministry that we're in does a rally. We just did our first one in August of last year. And we had never been to a rally, and they wanted me to be the director of that. Yeah. So I'd never been to one.
She ran the rally.
So I ran the rally in August, and so we're having it again this August. In August 7th through the 11th, we're having it in Michigan, and I'll be the director of it again. We've never done any full-time family rallies. We would love to do Madison, but financially we just can't right now.
Expensive.
Yeah.
Really?
So,
yeah, aren't they like $5-10 to do or something like that? It's like
I don't know, like
ridiculous.
I don't know what how much the Madison was. I mean, it's still.
I think it was going to be about $1,500 or so for us to go to Madison.
It's just not worth it to me, in my opinion.
That's a big.
I mean, I know a lot of people love it. I know she wants to do it, but I'm like, we had the same. We're just gonna see all the same people we just left.
Yes.
At TTO, like in Orlando. So it's like, do I really need to go spend $1,500 at a rally that's gonna they schedule your time from like sun up to sundown? I feel is what I've heard. So it's like, do I really want to go be that busy for a couple weeks?
Yeah.
When I can just be like, I've seen all the people that I want to see. like I don't really care to go see the people I don't want to see.
I don't have the social battery for this right now.
So.
Yeah. No. So Madison, what I liked about it, what I've heard is, so you stay the month and they have sports and like people that can't do the I-9 or whatever, like they can come and do sports there.
Yeah, they do sports camps for kids, like all ages. So
it's like a big camp. It's like camp for everybody. It sounds like.
Yeah. It's like a whole. Like it's a very big one. Yeah.
So I would have loved to have done that. Just financially, it just wasn't a good idea for us. Now we do have the rally in Michigan coming up this August, and we kind of made last year. We made sure when we made the schedule, it was very flexible. So it wasn't like there was tons of breaks. So if you needed family time or people still had to work, or if you just need a break.
Yeah, it was strictly designed for community building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, we're here to hang out around the fire, eat hot dogs, whatever. But it's strictly designed for that purpose. So like we did like one little thing, organized thing a day.
No, it was like a few in the morning and a few in the afternoon.
But
and had lunch off.
Yeah, but very low organized. Like come if you want to, don't come if you don't want to. It's fine. Like you're not. It wasn't crazy expensive for people to come, so it's like you're not like, oh, I feel like I'm wasting my money.
Yeah.
But
so now I'm going to take it that it went well, because when the dates got released this year, everybody from last year booked the entire month.
Yeah, I already booked up the spots before we even released the registration for the rally.
Yeah.
They were like, we just want to go back. So, the campground is just really nice, and then
it's small.
It's small, but the guy who owns it is in our group. He's actually my boss, who I work for. So he was just like, and that's his whole thing too. He wants the community aspect at the campground. He doesn't really care so much about people coming in and out. He's like, if we get a group of people there that like each other, let's keep them there as long as for that stint.
Yeah.
So yeah, unfortunately, it's going to outgrow this campground soon, I think. I
think so.
And it's going to lose its magic.
Yeah, because right now we only have boondocking spots available But
Yeah, because we filled up all the full hookup spots that were available.
yeah.
Of people from last year that just knew it was going to be in August, so they just went and booked August
Yeah.
for the month without even knowing the date of the rally.
I'm going to be ahead of the
We're
game.
going to come there in August.
Yeah.
So, which is what we decided to do. So we're like,
Yeah.
we're going to spend July and August it's in northern Michigan,
Yeah.
Yep.
just south of Traverse City a little bit. So we're like, we're going to spend the summer up there
I
again.
heard great things about Traverse City in the middle of summer.
Yeah.
We have a place
beautiful.
up there. And if you didn't know that, we have a Bish's up there, so
Okay.
check it out.
Just in case.
Okay.
Yeah, heard it's like a resort town, like a summer resort town, though. So I heard it's
kinda like
beautiful, absolutely gorgeous up there. So I think you should spend some time in Traverse City.
We are. The beaches are really nice. So we're going to go up there and spend some time at the beach. And
Yeah. It looks like a clear crystal ocean. But
yeah, it's just like any other beach town that you'd see like on the Gulf Coast. There it is.
Yeah.
Up there on
You should stop at the dunes too. You ever seen the dunes over there?
I have not been to them yet, but it's like those are the people that like you walk down them, you get down them, but then you have
to pay $3,000.
it's like $3,000 to get rescued if you get stuck down there.
Catch me
Nuts.
dead.
I'm like, I'm
Ain't
not
no
going
way
up
I'm
there.
getting
I'll leave
stuck.
them away from them.
I'll be up there. I got 2 sticks in my hand, like
yeah, dude, it's
freaking
like
old
it's crazy
thing.
because like
You
we had
ain't
a friend of
stopping
ours.
me.
Her son is like 17 and he does like tough mudders all the time, and it took him like over an hour to get back up.
Yeah, it's a while.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy. So I was like, I'm not doing that.
Well, I'm glad you guys have found a sense of community, and that sounds like you're running one now. So that's awesome as well. And then you also do. You said something about like a ministry group as well. So that's another thing that you have. Creating that sense of community within the RV community. I'm glad you guys do that. Being an introvert, it's not the most fun thing for you to do, but I'm glad you're breaking down your boundaries for that, because there's a lot of wonderful people out there in the RV community. So I've seen so far, and I think it's just like-minded people, right? You want to see more, learn more, do more around the U.S., which is absolutely awesome. But getting into it, three and a half years into it, what's some advice you would give to somebody who's on the fence about transitioning into full-time life? And let's start with that. I want to have another question after that.
Advice.
Could be easy, could be simple, could be difficult.
I would say do your research. Make sure you get the rig you want to start with. Don't get stuck in something that you get into. Then you're like, or for me, when I say that, it's like, don't buy something too small thinking, oh, we'll be fine. Yeah. And then you're stuck in something too small because you can't trade it in, you can't get rid of it. And then you're like, well, crap. It's like we're tripping all over each other. So it's like, I don't want to say like, don't go ridiculous and buy something huge you don't need, but it's like, make sure you buy the space that you need. Yes. Don't think you're going to be like, oh, we can live in a van. It's like you're not going to be able to. It's like you're living in a house. It just moves.
Yeah. What do you got, Erica?
I feel like I know a lot of people are like have asked like, well, like what do you do? Like, how do you know that you're ready? And I was talking to Ben about it. I was like, I kind of feel like it's like kids. Like, you're not ever gonna be
ready.
Like fully ready.
Yeah,
you can't wait till you're like 100% ready. Like, it's just not gonna happen. Because I feel like we're still,
no such thing.
No, I feel like we're still learning stuff, and we've been doing it for 3.5 years, and we're still learning.
Yeah, so it's just like, just do it. Like, I don't know what you want. Like, a lot of these people, it's like, I don't know what you want from the community. Like, when they're asking questions, I was like, just jump in it and do it and learn. Like, that's how you're going to figure it out. Like, if you're going to sit back and just ask questions and, like, keep trying to poke for advice, it's like, you're never going to do it. You're just going to keep putting it off. So, like, just jump in and do it. Because that's how we did it. We're just like, well, let's just jump in and do it. It's worked out pretty good so far.
I feel like it's been
baptism by fire.
That's right.
I feel like we were always like, well, if we get it, well, if we do this and it doesn't work out, then we'll just go back to a house.
Yeah.
Like, it'd be simple. We'll just get an apartment. We'll just get a house.
Yeah.
Like, because, I mean, it'd probably be difficult to get out of, like, to sell it right away. But if it doesn't work out, you can always get a house.
Don't work out. But again,
But I don't think you'll ever fully be 100% ready.
Yeah, because again, you gotta brush up on your maintenance skills. Learn how to do easy things. Learn how to fix easy things. Just watch a few YouTube videos and learn how to do those things, and you can do most of the stuff that gets broke. You can fix it yourself.
And if you can't, you can use RV Fix right there.
There you go.
Another little segue, RV Voice. Use the promo code, get 60% off, lock in your price for years to come. Perfect. Oh, goodness. So,
love it.
What about some misconceptions that you've come about? Like you've been at it for 3.5 years. So you've talked to many people that do so. And then obviously people that don't, right? You still have friends in the normal life, but like, what's a misconception that, about RV living that you would like to tell people about?
I think a lot of people come into this thinking that it's cheap. Like it's the cheaper way to live, which it can be.
Yeah.
But I feel like you have to be intentional on, like, this lifestyle can be super expensive. Like, things break a lot.
Diesel is not cheap.
Yeah.
In case you didn't know.
No, not at all.
If we did stay more stationary and did less things, then yes, we could definitely make this a cheaper lifestyle. But I think because we do move more and we want to explore the areas that we go to, it's probably about the same. It's just not cheaper. I mean, it definitely can be if you move and you sit there and you don't explore, or
But at that point, you might as well have a house. So yeah, I think another a misconception is, especially people with kids, we always find it's like, well, which we were very lucky. Neither one of our families gave us any grief, about our kids and how weird they're going to be. Their life, like how they're going to grow up with a normal childhood, right? So both of our parents and families were like, "Oh, that's awesome! Y'all are gonna have so much fun!" Like they're all jealous that we get to do this, and they're not, right? A lot of them. So I think that's a big common one too. And I'm sure everybody says that is like, "Hey, our kids are getting just as good a childhood, if not better, arguably, than anybody else, right? They're getting community, they're making friends. Like our kids are gonna have friends that hopefully they have for a long time that they've met in the RV world, right? So that we're going to keep meeting up with over and over and over again through our travels. So it's like that is a different misconception I think people too is like, well, your kids aren't going to have any friends. Your kids aren't going to learn anything. They're going to be behind. They're going to be this or that. So yeah, it's like, I don't know. I think that's one of the common misconceptions as well.
Yeah, I get fired up about that. I think these kids that are on the full-time RV life, I think they're going to come out more culturally well-rounded.
Oh yeah,
so much more than the kid that goes to school with the same 100 people, or depending on your school, like you could just fall into the mix of people as like, oh, they're just training me to be an 8 to 5 worker, and then like the societal norms of things. But now these kids are going out there meeting kids from Pennsylvania to California to Nebraska to Texas to Florida to Washington. They're all totally different aspects of people that you're meeting while full-time RVing, and then you're still playing, still having a good time. You still have to go out and meet new people regularly, stepping out of your comfort zone a little bit. And then kids are just so adaptable anyway. I mean, are you missing out on a little bit of things from public schooling? Sure. But I still think that these kids are going to come out more well-rounded than the public schooling aspect, per capita or average-wise. On average, I think they're going to come out better. So I think you're doing the right thing, but not everyone.
And because our daughter, she got this snow cone machine for Christmas one year or something. I mean, it's a little one. It's not even anything special, right? And she was like, I want to try to sell these snow cones. So she's got this little snow cone side business she does, right? So we'll be at these parks, and she'll bring in a couple $100 in an hour, with her little snow cone business on the side. So she's learning, hey, I can create something, my own business, right? Our own little entrepreneur type thing. She's 7, right? So she's learning, hey, if I want something, this is how I get money to go get it.
Yeah.
Is by creating something. So it's like, that's one thing I think they're learning that they would never have thought of or never have done if we were home, right, in a house. So yeah, and another thing we just brought to my mind when you were talking was like, you know, all these people we meet, all these kids and parents from different places, like it's just so interesting to learn for us, like how different, I won't say like cultural, not really cultural, but like different areas, people from different states, how they parent their kids. You know, me being from the South, arguably, it's like, you know, it's a different parenting tactic than people from California, the Pacific. You know, it's like, hey, it's a little more, I don't know the words to explain it, but then it's like you're learning from each other. It's like, okay, hey, you know, I can pick things from that couple, like how they parent and like that I like. I'm like, okay, you know, hopefully they're doing the same thing. They're like, oh, I can understand why you do this. So like meeting all those people, like you said, and it goes back to having that community.
Yeah.
Of like, hey, there are different ways to do things, different mindsets, different beliefs of how to raise kids, parent kids, you know, and to be able to pull that and learn that from each other is a big thing.
Interesting. So not only the kids getting culturalized, the parents are getting culturalized.
Yeah, and I think that it's been. I've noticed it. I don't know if you noticed it, but I've noticed it. Like hanging out with different people because it gets us out of that. You know, the people who are all the same, focused on how they do things. It's like, okay, well, there are other ways to do things.
Yeah.
You know.
Absolutely. Well, that's cool. There's that kids will make friends for sure. Like this is how they are. They go out there and
we use our kids as bait.
Yeah. Look what we got.
They're like, hey, we got kids. They go out to the playground, right, and meet some other kids. Like, hey, this is little Johnny, and his mom and dad are sitting over there. So like, hey, our kids are playing together. You know, let's hang out. So then you start hanging out. You know?
Come out of the camper. I found some more friends.
And a lot of times it's because they want to do something together. It's like, well, we got to talk to their mom first.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, well, we get introduction and introduced, and it's like, okay, bam. You've got a chance to make another friend, an adult friend, right?
So, they're helping you out. That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's kids are the fishing bait.
Yeah,
at the playgrounds.
Awesome, but so 3.5 years, right? So, what are some favorite experiences, some places, some things, unexpected benefits from this within your family or yourselves?
People always ask us, what's the best place you've been to? And it's like, oh my gosh, such a hard question.
B-dubs.
Right? B-dubs, blah, blah, blah. People will be like, why do you eat there? I'm like, I don't know, I like it.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Man, what are the
we love South Dakota.
Yeah, South Dakota's in like western South Dakota.
State.
Oh yeah.
I mean, even Sioux Falls, like area's nice, but like we spent a lot of time in Custer.
With
8
other families.
With like 8 other families, right? So that we knew. And that was awesome. But as far as like favorite places, I mean, ain't nothing that's gonna beat the beauty of Montana. We weren't even that far into Montana. We were just like barely into Montana, and it was like you just wake up, it's like snow-covered mountain. It's like, you know,
way over there with big sky around it, and there's another one over there somewhere.
We get there, and the first week of June it snows on us, right? So it was like, it was awesome. So I would say,
I'm surprised you didn't say NASCAR.
Well, that's a fun experience. Yeah, the NASCAR, being able to do that was a fun experience, but man, it's hard to nail down just one. It really is. It's each one's got its own unique, like, why we like it. You know, even just the overnight parks at the Harvest Host at an alpaca farm that's ran by 2 ladies who are like in their 80s, who are sisters, right? Giving us a little tour of their alpaca farm in the middle of Kansas. So like, even that was awesome. I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's the people now for us, right?
Yeah.
So we got a buddy. I got our good friends that are like, you know, we've traveled enough. You know, now it's people over places. Yeah. You know, where are the people at that we want to see, that we need to see? Okay, that's where we're going to go. You know, we are going to do some of this year. We're going to go out and go back like Utah and like really experience some of those places a little more. but at the same time, there's people going with us. It's like, so that was the favorite part. I don't know. The Keys were really nice. The Florida Keys are really nice.
Keys are nice.
So that may be on top of the list of favorite places.
Yeah, heard that a couple times. You're not the first one to say that. But what about some like unexpected benefits that you've come to find about yourselves or your family within full-time RVing?
For me, like I would say when we moved from a house to here, I honestly, you kind of like fear that you may like fight more or like argue more, but I feel like we've been married a long time and we've been through a lot in our marriage, but I feel like these tight quarters has honestly done the opposite. I feel like it's made our communication better, because you have like
there's nowhere to hide.
There's nowhere to hide. Like, you got
especially for you. I got nowhere to hide.
There's nowhere to go. All right.
There's nowhere to go. So
you'll never find me.
You never find me in this couch.
Yeah.
That's good.
I see you right there. But yeah, that's a good point. I mean, probably just the closeness in our relationship as a couple, like just growing.
Yeah.
And then our family dynamic, I think, is just growing as well, with the kids and having mom and dad home, around, involved, right?
Yeah.
More.
Like, I don't know if they remember before.
Yeah.
I feel like they think that this is normal.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, it's hard to say. It's hard because they were so young. It was like, it's hard to. Do they remember mom waking up when they get home from school, daycare, leaving to go to work, and then being home right when they wake up just to take them to school, right? Do they remember that? Like, I don't know if they remember that or not, but I'm hoping that this is what they remember. Like, hey, mom and dad being around to do these unique experiences that a lot of kids are never going to get to see, right? They've already seen more in their life than I've seen in my entire life, right? Yeah. When I was a kid, the places we've gotten to go.
Most definitely.
And then I think just the relationships that we've built with other people.
Yeah.
That aren't your neighbors, right? Like when you're living in a neighborhood, you probably expect to build those relationships with the people who are across the street.
Mm-hmm.
But now we have them built to where once we spread out, it's like you've got friends in every part of the country that you could go to at any time.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and two, like, so in this lifestyle, you're never, like, when you're in a house, you can see your friends whenever. But when you're in this lifestyle, you don't get to see your friends all the time. So you make sure to keep that communication strong and, like, communicate back and forth and, like, keep in touch. Where, like, back home, when we left back home, like, that communication didn't, like, I don't know if that makes sense. Like, the people I talk to every day are not the people from back home. Because when you're home and in a community like that, you don't have to keep communication strong because you see each other all the time. But I feel like in the RV community, you have to keep that communication strong because you don't see each other that often. Yeah. Like, we have some friends that we haven't seen since the beginning of last year, but I talk to her all the time because I don't know when the next time I'll get to see her. Where if we were back home, I'm not going to talk to somebody every day or every week because I'll just see them sometime throughout the week. And then when we left town, like, a lot of those friendships are still there, but we don't get to talk because it's just not something that's common. Or in this RV life, it's common to keep in touch more.
Yeah. The intentionality between,
if that makes sense.
Just like sending simple text messages, phone calls, things like that,
Yeah.
And again, it goes back to the intentionality of building that community. Like, with our Gathering Nomad stuff, we have a monthly Zoom meeting where everybody that can jumps onto a Zoom call together, right? So from everywhere across the country.
Yeah.
So that's a benefit of it too, is just learning to be intentional with your relationships and your friendships.
Yeah.
To make sure they stick around, right? Because
you check on each other more.
Yeah, you never know when you're going to see them again sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, actually, it's at all times, You never know when you're going to see the next. I mean, our days are numbered. We don't know when. I mean, it could be, sure. It happens all the time, which is, it's just life, unfortunately. But fortunately, it is just how it goes. Have you ever heard of Marco Polo?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
She uses it a lot.
Yeah, okay.
I can't keep up with it. I'm just like, whatever.
Yeah. I've heard that's another good way to keeping in touch with everybody, but
use it every day.
Yeah. Yeah. So what are what's the plans? What's the goals? What's the RV journey looking like in the next couple of years? Do you guys plan on stopping at some point in time, or
don't have any plans to stop?
We always said that we wouldn't, we always assumed that when the kids got middle school, high school, that we definitely wouldn't be living this lifestyle, which is still a possibility, but it was more on the aspect of we would get them back in public school because we couldn't school them at that age. But now that we've been doing it for a while, I'm like, I don't know. I'm good keeping them out of public school.
Yeah.
So now we don't really have any end in sight. So,
no, like, hey, we're going to stop traveling unless something happened, but immediate plans were this year, we're going to spend summer in Michigan and then bounce around, and then we're setting ourselves up to go west. We're going to go winter in Texas and then west, right? Yeah. So we're not coming back to Florida. There's too many people in Florida in the winter. But
it also wasn't as warm as I expected.
Yeah. It got cold.
I think this year was a little bit of a fluke, but
But
that's what I've been told.
But yeah, so we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna try to this next year is try to hit some of the states we haven't hit. We've missed so far.
We went all the way around
Colorado. I haven't touched Colorado. Just keep going around it. It's just in the way.
Good one. You're missing a good one. There's some cool stuff in Colorado.
We'll get there.
I want to go.
If you like sandwich, if you like chicken, right? Since you like B-dubs. And you need to go to Buena Vista, Colorado. It's a little sandwich shop called Biggie's. I stopped there if I go anywhere, because I used to go travel to Colorado a lot when I was in Nebraska, because it's the Rockies, it's right there. But anyway, Biggie's, it has they have buffalo chicken sandwiches that they make on hoagie buns, and they have elk burger sandwiches that they do, and basically a little bit of everything, and it's
delicious.
Fantastic. The Biggie sandwich is I wish I could ship it to myself. It's so good. Right. Yeah.
So anyway, that's our immediate plans, is to go probably get out west, do Pacific Northwest, California and all that, that kind of stuff. And then after that, I don't know. We kind of we don't plan ahead. That's another thing we don't do anymore, is plan ahead too much. Where she used to be the planner.
Yeah. So that would also, I forgot about that. That would be advice, is not to rush it, because we did 23 states in 3 months.
Yeah. Not slow down. Don't go fast.
Yeah,
right.
It was way too much. And at the end of it, I told Ben, I said, I feel like I got all these pictures and my social media looks like I had so much fun and it's so pretty. But I don't think that I got to live in the moment and actually enjoy it, because it was just too fast.
Yeah, take it slow.
Yeah. Which
Okay.
I have heard everybody makes that mistake. So
yeah, it's exciting to hit the ground running. They're like, "Oh, this is terrible. We're going too fast."
Yeah.
You burn. It causes burnout for sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's too fast. I mean, I talked to several people. The first conversation I had was exploring outside the 303, and they were doing 3 days, 2 to 3 days a pop.
Yeah.
And they were living around Denver, right? But still 2 to 3 days a pop, picking up your house and moving it, picking up your house and moving it, picking up your house and moving it. It's that's too much. So slow down, stay a while, live in the moment.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. So within your new home on wheels, your 5.5-year-old RV, but 3.5 years on the road, what's some gadgets and gizmos that are must-haves for you within your RV? It sounds like the washer and dryer was one.
Washer and dryer, yeah.
As a must, but what else do you have? I have to have this.
Dehumidifier, especially in Florida.
That's it for Florida.
It's a good one. That's a good one.
Yours is the air fryer.
Air fryer, yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that too. I mean, yeah, why not though? I mean, they're perfect.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then for us, like, because we've had a few parks like this one, and then we were in Minnesota for like 3 weeks without sewer hookups, right? In one park. So I bought a macerator pump that goes on the black tank. And
That's right.
Now they're starting to get popular. They're making kits for them, right? This was before these companies got wind of it. Like, oh, we should install these, right? Because it's a genius idea. But that's a big one, right? Because it's such a pain in the butt to fill that portable. Because I got the biggest portable tank. It's like 38 gallons or whatever, right? It gets so heavy. And I was like, it was such a pain in the butt to try to fill that thing up, on the ground and then lift it up and hook it to the truck and drive it. So I was like, today, you just sit it empty on the bed of the truck, back of the truck, run the hose to it, turn your pump on, fills it up, you drive off. No lifting,
Yeah.
like that. So, so that's a big one. Especially if you're going to do like boondocking or even just in general, because now they're coming installed, right, on some of these rigs.
Or if you have a wife that doesn't like to use the bathhouse.
Yeah, or you have a wife that refuses to use any bathhouse.
That's fair. That's fair. I understand.
It's right there. It's nice. Get over it.
Yeah.
But
get over it. They're not all great. I understand. I get it.
Yeah, so that's a big one that I really enjoy having, because it allows us to stay in different places. Like when we go home now, we can just stay in my parents' front yard, right? Because I can just pump it right to their sewer clean out, and take care of it. So it just helps overall. But as far as gizmos and gadgets, we're experimenting with some things that we've got. This new big battery generator pack thing. We're going to try to see how that works.
X chocks.
Yeah, our X chocks were big for like stability.
Yeah,
we like those. So yeah, nothing too crazy. Nothing that's out of the ordinary. Gizmos and gadgets that we have. Yeah. Just got our normal everyday household stuff, our internet, and computers, and
yeah.
So,
but well, this has been a wonderful conversation, guys. You guys have a different lifestyle that I haven't come across yet, because of you did the medical style first, and then now you're doing it this way, which is more the norm. The more of social media, remote work versus actually going into a business and actually working. But this is like my favorite question to ask, and you kind of answered along the way, right? When we're talking about all these, the full-time life and full-time aspects of it. But what is your why? Well, I know you kind of just started, the first initial, I guess, statement was to be together, on the road with your traveling. But is there a deeper aspect to that? Or is that kind of just like, that's the main point, just to be together and be more present with your family?
I think it's kind of changed over time. I think that was originally the why, was like, hey, let's be together as a family.
I think we started, it was money.
Well, yeah, money was probably the first start, because I was like, we just can't
not
pass up on the opportunity she has, right, to make money. But then it turned into like, okay, then we need to be together. This is awesome, and then it's turned into like our whole like ministry aspect of it is like helping other people build that community so they're not lonely, right? That's kind of what's turned into now. It's like, that's why she plans these big Valentine's Day parties and things like that for all these kids and parents to get together. That's why we're focused on gathering people for meals, because anytime we can share a meal with somebody, we will.
What we've been doing lately has been like, okay, if I know that you are traveling today and it's a long travel day, then I'll just ask you, hey, like, would you like to get together? Let's have a meal. That way, because travel days, we'll go out to eat. Like, we're not going to cook. We don't want to cook.
Dirty anything up before we leave. Or if you had a long travel day and you're just getting somewhere, we'll try to like, hey, we'll cook you dinner. You're here. Don't worry about unpacking a bunch of stuff, getting a bunch of stuff dirty. We'll cook hamburgers, hot dogs, or something. I'll just come over and eat, right? Providing that kind of meal for people. So that's kind of what it's turned into, is like just helping those feel like there's a community around them. Because that's something we didn't have in the beginning, right? So we want to make sure people feel that. So that's kind of what's turned into for us.
Almost like extending the olive branch. Like, hey, we had a tough time doing it. Like, let's show you the way, and like become that first opening, or maybe your first opening, but like, or just another friend,
Yeah.
That's cool. That's really cool. I never thought about that, but
and most people like to eat.
Come have a beer,
Yeah. So we can always throw some hot dogs on the grill or whatever and feed people, right? So it's easy. It doesn't cost any money hardly. So it's like here you go. And it's a big blessing to that person not having to worry, especially if they've had a long, stressful travel day, right? It's the last thing you worry about is feeding everybody.
Awesome. Well, is there anything else that you'd like to share before we close out here?
I don't think so.
Nothing in particular. No, man, just appreciate the opportunity to share our story, and just look forward to seeing it come out. And
I say we'll have to come by Michigan.
We'll come to the Bishes in Michigan. Check them out. See if they got anything good for us to buy.
Go say hi to Kellen. He's like one of my favorite dudes that work here. He's just you'll know him. You'll know who he is. Yeah.
We'll run in there like, hey.
He's the bubbly one. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Love it.
Very welcoming. He's a loud personality, but he's a great dude. Absolutely great dude. Go
up there. Maybe they'll have a camper we want. You never know.
There you go. Maybe. No promises. I don't know what they have up there. It changes quite a bit. We bought them a couple years ago, and I used to know when I was in the brand manager position or brand manager role here, I knew like where everything was. Now I just like I'm kind of disjointed from inventory, which is fine by me because it was very a lot of moving parts and stuff like that. But definitely check out. And if you come through the PNW this summer or whenever you said you were coming through and you come through Boise, you need to let me know because this is where I'm at. Yeah. And stop at a brewery or whatever. I can come
at some point.
Yeah. I can come to your campsite. We can do it all over again. So,
boom. Update.
Update. Awesome. Everybody out there listening, give him a follow. Grimm Side of Travel. I'm guessing you guys' last name is Grimm, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure. I was like, otherwise,
no.
Yeah. Otherwise, my intro sucked.
Look who is Grimm Drive Travel.
Yeah. Well, they're trying to build their following on Instagram. Give them a follow. They do a great job. And likewise for myself, we're still building. We crossed 1,000. This is going to come out a little bit. We crossed 1,000 just the other day. Yep, just yesterday. So woohoo! Yay! That's a milestone. It's a good thing. It's going to help my algorithm go and keep building. So, and then everything drops on YouTube first on the podcast side of things. But we do have Spotify and we do have Apple. And again, on RV Fix, if you guys want that, use promo code RVVoice for 60% off and lock in your price for years to come. Well, Ben and Erica, it's been an absolute pleasure. You guys are full of information and you were not shy, which is great. So kudos to you. Working on that extroversy.
That's right.
Awesome. Well, hey, I got an ask for you though.
Yeah.
Ben, since you are a voice actor, you want to close out for me? Point at the camera and say, stay tuned for more from the RV Voice.
Stay tuned for more from the RV Voice.
Yeah,
nailed it.
Yeah, I don't let people take my job.
But I'll do it. My iPad.
Awesome.
Right here.
Oh, cool. Well, I'm gonna close it out here. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
See you.
Bye.